All right, what is up, YouTube? I'm back with another video out of several videos I'll probably make before I start my day. I'm gonna be talking about Teofimo Lopez speaking with Eddie Hearn the other day after the Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Smith fight, trying to say to Eddie that he is the real undisputed champion at 135, and Eddie, shamelessly, shut down Tio. He actually embarrassed him, saying, "But you're not the undisputed champion. Like, you are the unified champion at 135." And Teofimo knows that he is making himself look like a complete idiot, like all idiots when they're young in the sport of boxing. But nah, Teofimo, he's a very interesting character because although I don't respect him anymore after he called Deontay Walter a bitch, and he wants to think like he can tell people what to do and think that he's a big boy, when clearly you've never really probably ever took responsibility of your career other than letting your daddy and your promoter do all the talking for you, aka Bob Arum, the psycho, asshole. But no, I just think like when it comes to this moment between him and Eddie Hearn, he just made himself look like a complete idiot. And I'm gonna break that down today. This is absolutely hilarious, and I was laughing so hard that Teofimo, you really need to watch what you say, because the two most dangerous things in the world that you can get exposed by is a camera phone and a microphone, or a camera and a microphone. Either way, Teofimo, he's now screwed. So when Teofimo approached Eddie Hearn, he said to Eddie Hearn that he'll fight any of his fighters, and then his dad just came out of nowhere and said, "Hey, you give us 10 million to fight Devin Haney, we'll fight him." And then Eddie's like, "Okay, yeah, sure." But Teofimo negotiated that and said, "Hey, I'll take 5 million." So which one is it, Tio? Are you gonna take 5 million, or are you gonna take 10 million? I understand like boxing is a very bad business due to so many state and federal regulations that comes with the sport, and that's why I understand fighters want to price themselves out. But when you talk business, especially out in public, you have to keep that private, because you don't want to say something that comes out of your mouth that could possibly lead into some legal battles. But that's why the sport needs to be freed up more by less state intervention, and there needs to be more economic freedom where fighters can just set up a fight easier and not have to go through all this promoter politics BS to get the big fights that everybody wants to see, aka have fight leagues in boxing and other sports. But either way, um, Teofimo said to Eddie that he will fight, um, Devin Haney for 5 million. So my prediction is that if Eddie Hearn is actually going to be serious about setting up a term sheet and sending it to Tio to say, "Okay, please let me know what you guys want, and then we have the money for 5 million, but you need to agree to the fight." And if Teofimo has those balls, which I'm sure he does, and he needs to grow them so that way he can have, a good payout for his payday, he should take the fight. If the money's there, take the fight. And I think this will be Teofimo's biggest payday ever to date, because Teofimo, he a little broke boy. And that's basically because when you fought Loma Chicken, Vasil Lomachenko, you only made $1.25 million compared to Devin Haney that fought Gamboa, which he didn't really need to do that much in the ring. He basically just outboxed Gamboa, and Gamboa was there to survive. Which Devin Haney was beaten like the living crap out of. No hard feelings towards Gamboa. I love you. You're the homie, Gamboa. Todos los días por mis cubanos. Mi favorito, boxeador. But Yeah, that's basically what Devin did. He was just there to box, and Gamboa was not giving him the opportunity to knock him out because he was in survival mode. And I'm sure Tio knows that, but Tio wants to say to Devin, "Oh, you had like a lackluster performance, blah blah blah." And it's like Devin had to do what he had to do. What you did with Lomachenko, you like you were doing good for like 6, 7 rounds, and then you let Lomachenko beat the living crap out of you in rounds 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then almost close in the 12th, which could have went to Lomachenko, but you made a yeah like you made a crazy flashy comeback to hit Lomachenko with shots that he couldn't see, and then he got hurt, and then he almost got KO'd by you. But either way, Teofimo could have easily lost that fight. But nah, Devin Haney is now the A side between him and Tio because Devin makes way more money and he has more to sell. I'm sorry, but I'm not lying when the facts are there. You can take a look at it. You just type in Devin's recent fight purse against Gamboa, and it will show $5 million. And Teofimo had $1.25 million, which actually was going to be negotiated for at least I think like $1 million. I'm not too sure, but it was going to be lower because, like Top Ranks, Bobby Arum is like is one broke old ass man. But yeah, Devin Haney is probably saving DAZN, and he's probably doing what he has to do before he probably moves over to Showtime with PBC. I would actually like to see that. That would be a very good move for Devin, and for him to have his own promotional company. That's even way better. Uh, I'm actually even very happy for him because he's making money two ways. One, off of his fighters that fight under him, and two, he's making more money with all the bigger fights that he can get to make his marketability grow and make himself a much bigger character. That's why like I really want to see fight leagues in boxing so that way all that stuff doesn't need to happen. Like I mean, you could have like your own promotional company in boxing if you want to make your own money, but there should actually be like competitive organizations out there similar to the UFC in a way to get you ready for the bigger fights and to put your name out there quicker because that's really where boxing fails. Boxing has poor marketability strategy to make all these bigger, fights with up and coming fighters made happen faster because nobody doesn't know who their next opponent will be for the fighter. But if the fighter doesn't know who's available to fight and they don't have like the right promotional, company to put them into the bigger fights, no, I think that's what makes up the fight less appealing. And I think it's better to be with like a fight league network like the UFC or anything of that caliber, and that would just make fights a lot more interesting where every fighter is ranked in the world, but for you to get up there you have to fight tough fights every single time. If you want to make big money in boxing, you have to fight every single tough fight. I don't care who you are. If you're 1-0, you got to face a guy that's like 3 or 4-0. I don't care. Like if you know you could beat this guy or beat this girl, take the fight. That's really how it got to be. Like if you want to push yourself higher in rank, you can take that risk and fight that person to say, "Hey, I'll fight this guy or girl that's 18-1 even though that I'm 6-0. I'll take it." Yeah. And then if you beat that person, then good. Your stack is going to go up way higher. You're going to move up higher in ranks for all the title commissions and you'll put yourself out there to be a much bigger threat. And that's really why boxing sucks, because boxing does not have a co-opted organization to set up all these fighters to fight each other when all these like not so well-known fighters that have such great records are fighting like tomato can fighters or taxi cab drivers out of their own country just to make themselves look good for the TV if they ever get called up for a big fight, in America. So I think Tio should take this because Tio, he knows that he's not like the best fighter ever. for 135. And for him to lie to say that Devin Haney is the email champion, he's not. He fought Zaur Abdulwalev to get the title that was vacant or vacated by Vasily Lomachenko. So I don't know how Devin Haney is somehow emailed, a championship belt. That doesn't make any sense. But I understand why Tio's saying that, because he knows he did not win the WBC title. He got the French fries belt. So, that's what, idiot Mauricio Suleiman did to make himself look like a bigger fool by trying to create this dumbass WBC franchise belt. But either way, I think this fight needs to happen. Teofimo, he's afraid of Devin Haney. He does not want the smoke with Devin. But I think eventually they're gonna have to fight. I think the time is now. The time is not later. Teofimo would be an absolute idiot to think that Devin Haney is gonna wait 5 years for him. If anything, I think Devin would just go a different direction, and he would just not want to fuck with you anymore because you're wasting his time. Like you're wasting his time. You're making him look like as if he's not credible. He's not notable for his own division, and you're not giving Devin the respect that he deserves. And I find it absolutely disrespectful that a guy like Teofimo Lopez thinks that he is the best fighter in his own division, but this motherfucker doesn't have any balls to actually fight his contemporaries. Devin Haney, he got balls. Like Devin Haney, he's like a true warrior mixed with a titan, and I give him props because Devin, he is literally like the Kobe of boxing. And I think what he brings to the table is that he is just way too versatile. He's way too intelligent, and his defensive mastermind ability is starting to get better. And if he could craft that to the point where he's just ultimately impossible to hit, Devin Haney wins every single one of his fights. And I think his only toughest fight would be against Shakur Stevenson, where Devin, he would have to hurt Shakur to a point where Shakur, he cannot deal with Devin's tenacity. And then if Devin can get Shakur to an uncomfortable position, all Devin need to do is just box him. And then if like a knockout come. But I don't ever see that, and I don't ever see it going to that level because I think a Shakur Stevenson Devin Haney fight would be the biggest fight to be made in boxing. And it would definitely get a lot of younger audiences to get involved because you're now seeing that the young bucks take over and they're actually, going at it with each other. And I think Shakur Stevenson, he knows that. And Devin, he knows that because eventually they're going to meet up. Him and Tank are going to meet up. Devin and Tio are going to meet up. But, I guess that the big $1 million question is when. And I think, that time needs to be now. Theoretically, if Ryan Garcia gets past Luke Campbell, which I don't think so, but Ryan Garcia will be Devin's mandatory, so Devin will probably fight Ryan Garcia next. And I would hope Devin, he could actually force that fight to say, hey, can you force my mandatory to actually fight me? Yeah, because Devin, he want all the smoke. But it would be a very interesting battle to see where that goes. And I think that's really where everything falls down to. And I would really hope that this fight can be made if Eddie Hearn can tell Teofimo, hey, I got the money, but if you're willing to fight this guy next, instead of fighting Kambosos, which I think Kambosos is his mandatory, so I don't think him and Devin are going to fight next. But him and Kambosos, definitely need to be set up. And, once he gets past Kambosos, which I have a feeling Kambosos is going to upset Tio, but if Tio does beat Kambosos in Australia, that's going to be some good easy money. But either way, I just really want this fight to happen because Tio versus Devin at 140 or 147, I don't want to see that. I just want to see these guys fight now. And it would be a lot more juicier to see them fight when they're champions. And Tio should just have that Honduran balls, have those Honduran cojones to fight Devin and get all the marbles. So that's pretty much what I have to say. Oh, also, just to chime in on Eddie telling Tio he's not the real undisputed champion. That was absolutely like god tier awesome. Although I don't like Eddie because he's a liar himself. Eddie made it 100% truth that you are not the undisputed champion. Devin Haney is still the WBC lightweight champion of the world. So you cannot call yourself undisputed until you fight Devin. And that was awesome. Thank you, Eddie Hearn. And please, guys, let's make this fight happen. Teofimo versus Devin Haney. Let's get it. All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, hate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all later. Thank you very much, and goodbye.